In the year 1867, a single piece of paper changed the fate of a continent. A check worth $7.2 million. Faded ink, a modest sum, and a signature that quietly erased an empire. At the time, many in America laughed. They called it Seward's folly. A foolish deal for a frozen wasteland at the edge of the world. A useless block of ice bought in haste. From a declining power, eager to let it go. Russia walked away. America took possession, and history turned its page. But the land itself did not change. Beyond that fragile sheet of paper lay something vast and untamed. Mountains rising like stone sentinels. Forests older than nations. Rivers thick with salmon feeding creatures larger than legend. Ice fields that breathed, cracked, and thundered into the sea. Alaska was never empty. It was simply misunderstood. Long before flags were raised or borders drawn, this land belonged to no empire. It answered only to weather, to season, to forces far older than human ambition. The cold preserved memory. The wilderness kept its secrets. What was sold for millions was worth far more. This is the story of a forgotten empire and a land that outlived it. A place where Russian churches still stand among American pines, where gold seekers bled their dreams into frozen trails, where oil now flows through steel arteries across tundra that still refuses to yield. This is Alaska, not a prize won by nations, but a frontier that allows humanity to remain. Only on its own terms. And as we look back at that single check from long ago, we begin to understand. The greatest mistake was never the purchase. It was believing this land could ever be owned. On the southeastern edge of Alaska, where mist drifts in from the Pacific and evergreen forests press against the sea, a quiet town stands between two histories. Sitka. Today, it feels unmistakably American. Wooden houses, fishing boats, bald eagles circling above the harbor. And yet beneath the surface, another identity remains. Older, quieter, and largely forgotten. Once this place was called New Archangel. It was the capital of Russian America, the beating heart of an empire that stretched across oceans, chasing fur profit and influence at the edge of the known world. For decades, Russian traders arrived here, believing they had claimed a distant frontier. What they found instead was resistance and consequence. At the center of modern Sitka rises an unexpected silhouette. Onion-shaped domes gleam softly through coastal fog. St. Michael's Cathedral stands among North American pines, its orthodox cross pointing skyward out of place, and yet perfectly at home. It is not a replica, it is a survivor. Inside icons glow in candlelight. Gold leaf reflects whispers of prayers, spoken in a language few here now understand. This church does not dominate the landscape. It endures within it, like memory itself. Nearby old cemeteries lie hidden beneath moss and rain. Wooden crosses tilt gently with time. Stone markers etched in Cyrillic fade beneath lichen and salt air. Names once spoken with authority are now barely legible. Officers, priests, traitors. Men who believed they were building permanence on land that had never agreed to it. The Russian presence in Alaska was never secure. From the beginning, it collided with the strength of the Tlingit people, whose understanding of this land ran deeper than any foreign map. They knew the tides, the forests, the seasons, and they did not yield easily. In 1804, the conflict reached its peak. Russian forces armed with cannons and backed by the Russian-American Company launched a brutal assault on a Tlingit stronghold near present-day Sitka. Smoke filled the bay. The forest echoed with gunfire. When it ended, the Russians claimed victory, but control remained fragile. This was not colonization by certainty. It was occupation by persistence. Trade flourished briefly. Sea otter pelts flowed west, feeding fashion and wealth in distant cities. But the cost was high. Animal populations collapsed, relations with indigenous peoples remained tense, and the empire's grip weakened, with every mile separating Sitka from St. Petersburg. By the mid-1800s, Russia was tired. The land was distant, the profits uncertain. And so with a single transaction, the empire withdrew. Sitka became American. But culture does not vanish with a signature. Russian folk dances are still performed here. Family names linger. Traditions surface quietly without ceremony. Alaska did not erase Russia. It absorbed fragments and kept them suspended in place. Walking through Sitka today is to move through layers. American storefronts stand beside Russian architecture. Indigenous history runs beneath both. No single narrative dominates. The land refuses simplicity. New true archangel was never truly lost. It was folded into something larger. Sitka reminds us that empires may arrive and depart, but landscapes endure. Flags change, languages fade, yet the echoes remain. In this quiet coastal town, Alaska reveals one of its deepest truths. It does not belong to the past. It does not belong to nations. It allows history to pass through, and then it remains. Even as flags changed and empires faded, Alaska remained unchanged in one essential way. This land never stopped belonging to giants. Here, nature does not scale itself to human expectation. It expands. It dominates. It breathes at a size and rhythm that reminds us how small we truly are. In the forests and river valleys of southern Alaska lives one of the most powerful land predators on Earth, the Kodiak bear. Massive in frame, dense with muscle, built not for speed, but for authority. Standing upright, it can tower over 3 meters tall. Its presence alone reshapes the landscape around it. Each summer, the rivers fill with life. Salmon return from the open ocean, driven by instinct older than memory. They fight upstream against current and stone gathering in staggering numbers beneath waterfalls, where the journey becomes nearly impossible. And there, the giants wait. Kodiak bears line the riverbanks with patience that feels almost ceremonial. They do not chase. They do not rush. With a single movement, a paw strikes the water, and a flash of silver becomes nourishment. This abundance fuels them through the long winter ahead, when the land will offer nothing. Here survival is not constant struggle. It is timing. Beyond the rivers, Alaska rises sharply toward the sky. The land folds upward into ranges of rock and ice. Culminating in a single presence that dominates the continent. Denali. The tallest mountain in North America. mass so vast, it creates its own weather, wrapping itself in cloud and storm, as if refusing to be fully seen. From its base, Denali feels impossibly distant. From the air, it rises like a frozen wave surging from the earth itself. Temperatures at its summit can fall below -40 degrees Celsius. Winds carve the mountain relentlessly, stripping it down to raw stone and ice. This is not a mountain that invites conquest. It tolerates it, briefly. Around it, glaciers grind through valleys, moving so slowly they appear motionless. Yet over centuries, they reshape entire regions. Carrying rock, carving fjords, releasing thunderous echoes when ice finally breaks free. The land here is never finished. It is always becoming. Alaska's wildlife reflects this scale. Wolves range across enormous territories, moving like shadows through forest and tundra. Moose, towering and solitary, wade through wetlands with antlers spread like living branches. Eagles watch from above, riding currents that feel eternal. Everything here is oversized: distances, silence, consequences. And yet, despite this power, the system is balanced. Predators depend on prey. Rivers depend on ice. Forests depend on fire and renewal. Alaska does not reward dominance. It rewards alignment. This is what the Russians never truly understood. They saw resources, fur, timber, land. But Alaska does not exist to be extracted. It exists to be endured, observed, respected. The giants of this land do not announce themselves. They move when they must, feed when the moment is right, and retreat when the season turns. They live within rules set long before humans arrived. As autumn approaches, bears disappear into dens. Salmon complete their final journeys. Snow begins its quiet return. The cycle closes exactly as it has for thousands of years. Empires came here seeking permanence. What they found was perspective. In Alaska, nature remains the dominant force. Vast, unapologetic, unmoved by ownership or ambition. It allows humanity to exist within its boundaries, but never at its center. This is the land of giants, not because it produces the largest creatures, but because it reminds us how small we are. And in that reminder, Alaska reveals its true power. When the Russians left Alaska, they believed they were abandoning a frozen margin of empire. What followed revealed how little anyone truly understood this land. In the final years of the 19th century, a whisper became a roar. Gold had been found. And suddenly Alaska was no longer a place to avoid. It became a place to risk everything for. The Klondike Gold Rush did not begin with celebration. It began with movement. Ships crowded northern ports. Men sold farms, tools, and futures for a chance at fortune. Women packed what little they could carry. The desperate, the hopeful, and the reckless all moved north, driven by a single idea that burned brighter than the cold. But Alaska does not reward desire. It tests it. To reach the gold fields, stampeders faced a barrier that stripped ambition down to muscle and breath. The Chilkoot Trail. A steep, narrow pass carved into ice and stone, rising into clouds where storms erased progress overnight. Each step was measured, each load immense. Supplies were not optional. A year's worth of food was mandatory, forcing travelers to climb the trail again and again, ferrying their lives piece by piece. The trail became a ritual of suffering. Lines of people ascended in silence, bent under crushing weight. Snow blinded the eyes. Wind cut exposed skin raw. The cold entered the lungs like glass. Many turned back. Some collapsed. Others pressed on, convinced that endurance alone could bend fate. Alaska did not promise reward. It demanded proof. Those who reached the summit often found the real journey had only begun. Rivers froze solid. Ice broke unpredictably. Winter arrived early and stayed late. Camps became towns only through persistence, not prosperity. For every story of sudden wealth, there were hundreds of quiet failures buried beneath snow. Gold was scarce. Hunger was not. Yet people stayed. They learned to read weather the way others read clocks. They rationed food with precision. They moved only when the land allowed it. Alaska reshaped them, leaving only what was necessary to survive. From this harsh necessity emerged a partnership that would define the region. Dogs and humans bound by survival. Long before engines could endure Arctic cold, sled dogs carried mail supplies and medicine. They ran through darkness, storms, and temperatures that stopped machinery cold. Their endurance kept communities alive. In 1925, when a diphtheria outbreak threatened the town of Nome, this bond was tested. With the sea frozen and planes grounded, teams relayed antitoxin across more than 1,000 kilometers of wilderness. The journey was brutal. Frostbite, exhaustion, and blizzards pressed in. But the medicine arrived. Lives were saved. The land had been crossed, not by force, but by trust and resilience. Today, that legacy lives on in the Iditarod. What appears as a race is a tour. Remembrance. Mushers follow routes carved by necessity and sport. They cross frozen rivers, climb wind-scoured passes, and face isolation that mirrors the past. Speed matters less than judgment. Endurance matters more than strength. The Iditarod is not about winning. It is about finishing. Gold built Alaska's reputation. Grit built its identity. Those who came seeking wealth often found something else instead. Limits, perspective, a respect for a land that could not be rushed or reasoned with. Alaska did not reward greed. It rewarded humility. As the gold rush faded, trails remained. Camps became towns. Stories settled into history. But the lesson endured. In Alaska, success was never guaranteed by effort alone. It required alignment with forces far larger than any individual. The stampeders came, believing the land could be taken. Those who stayed learned it could only be endured. and the paths they carved through snow and stone became more than routes to fortune. They became reminders that Alaska reshapes every ambition placed upon it. That survival here is not heroic, but disciplined. Not loud, but patient. In the end, gold was never the true prize. Survival was. And in that truth, Alaska revealed itself not as a land of riches, but as a land that demands everything and gives back only what is earned. In the modern age, Alaska is often described as the last frontier. A phrase spoken with pride, with longing, with the belief that there are still places beyond control. But here the frontier is not an idea. It is a living boundary, one that pushes back. Across Tundra Mountain and Frozen River, a steel artery cuts through the land. The oil pipeline stretches for more than 1,000 kilometers, rising above permafrost, bending across fault lines. Crossing valleys where no roads once existed. It was built not to dominate the land, but to survive it. Elevated above the ground, insulated against cold, engineered to flex rather than break. The pipeline is a monument to human adaptation. Not conquest. Adaptation. Because in Alaska, nothing built by humans lasts unless it respects the forces beneath it. Oil flows through this steel spine, carrying energy extracted from beneath ancient ground. Wealth moves south. Cities far away light up. Economies turn. Alaska, once dismissed as useless ice, becomes indispensable. And yet the land itself remains unmoved by profit. Around the pipeline, caribou continue their migrations, passing beneath steel supports, as they have for generations. Rivers still surge with salmon. Bears still rule the forests. From above, the pipeline looks small, fragile, temporary against the scale of the wilderness. But something is changing. Glaciers that once seemed eternal now pull back from the valleys they carved. Ice fields thin. Snow lines climb higher each year. The sound of calving ice echoes more often not as spectacle but as signal. Alaska is warming faster than much of the rest of the planet. Permafrost, once a frozen foundation, begins to soften. Ground shifts, roads crack, buildings tilt. Coastlines erode as storms grow stronger and seas creep closer. In some villages, relocation is no longer a future concern, but a present decision. For indigenous communities, these changes strike at identity as much as infrastructure. Hunting seasons shift. Ice forms later and breaks earlier. Knowledge passed down over centuries becomes harder to apply to a land that no longer follows familiar patterns. The frontier is moving. Yet even as change accelerates, Alaska remains overwhelmingly wild. Most of it is still roadless, untouched, silent. Vast distances stretch between human settlements, and in those spaces, nature still sets the rules. This is what Alaska has always been. The Russians learned it when distance and resistance made empire unsustainable. The Americans learned it when gold and oil demanded sacrifice beyond expectation. And every generation since has learned it again in different ways, under different pressures. Alaska does not reject humanity. It accommodates it, cautiously. Those who stay learn to read weather with humility, to plan for failure, to accept that technology can help, but never guarantee safety. Here, survival is not a right, it is a responsibility. The churches left behind by a lost empire still stand in quiet towns. Gold rush trails remain etched into mountainsides. Steel pipelines hum across frozen ground. Each layer tells a story of ambition, effort, and adaptation. But beneath them all, the land endures. Alaska was never truly Russian. It was never truly American. It belongs to the mountains that rise without permission, to the rivers that choose their own paths, to the ice that advances and retreats on timescales far beyond human plans, and to those people who understand one essential truth. In this place, you do not own the frontier. You live within it, Bishkioa, Rivalahai, Perfulimtros, and with respect. As light fades across forests, glaciers, and open tundra, Alaska returns to itself. Vast, unconcerned, alive. A land that has outlasted empires and will continue to do so long after names and borders fade. The lost Russian Empire is gone. The American frontier remains unfinished. Because Alaska is not the end of history, it is a reminder that there are still places on Earth where nature speaks first, and humanity listens, or learns the cost of not listening.